Yes, the bizarre footage came as Joe Biden approved the use of long-range US-supplied missiles by Ukraine to get deeper into Russian territory.
And Russia says they'll now use nukes. Trump is elected, but does the deep state say, hold my beer, we're going to start World War III before he takes office? Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we call out lies, hypocrisy, and corruption, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters, because truth conquers. But you can't conquer anything if you're not strong. So here to help us get stronger is Ancestral Supplements grass-fed beef liver. Did you know beef liver is nature's multivitamin? It makes your metabolism fast, energy high, and cravings low. My friend, it is time to get healthier and stronger with grass-fed beef liver. Get it at ancestralsupplements.com/JPReacts. And for 15% off, use code JPReacts. Let's get ready for World War III. So in the news, this is a little bit concerning, my friends. Biden is still in office, and is he running the show? No, I don't think he has been for a while, especially the 4 years of his presidency. So, of course, so much of the world, not just America, but the world has rejoiced since President Trump got elected. And unfortunately, we've probably been counting some chickens before the eggs hatch. And one of those chickens we've counted, and the egg hasn't hatched yet, is President Trump isn't in office. We still have a deep state running the administration in the current office. Is it beyond them to provoke Russia into using nuclear weapons to start World War III to be exact? Is it beyond the deep state to do that? I would say no. They have no regard for human life. They're out for control. Nuclear war, let alone that involving leveling into World War III with the U.S. involvement, that would create a lot of chaos. And my guess is that the deep state doesn't stand for law, order, and peace and harmony. So let's catch some of the highlights. And this is all over the place. Patrick Bet-David posts this from the New York Times. Biden allows Ukraine to strike Russia with long-range U.S. missiles. That's the permission slip for Putin to use nuclear weapons. We'll hear from Putin himself, who said, yep, we'll do that. I'm authorizing it. Biden allowing Ukraine to use long-range missiles to go deeper in, by the way, they're U.S. missiles, so it's kind of like U.S. is, unfortunately kind of the same thing as Ukraine at this point. So Biden allowing Ukraine to use U.S.-made long-range missiles to strike Russia, that has been known. That's going to provoke Putin to escalate this thing. And it's almost like Biden, or whoever kind of did this on Biden's behalf, is intentionally trying to provoke Putin, just like they intentionally provoked Putin to invade Ukraine back several years ago. So catching this from the mainstream toilet paper USA Today, in a major change, President Joe Biden has lifted a ban on Ukraine using U.S. long-range missiles to strike targets deep inside Russia. Yeah, that's a major change. Ukraine could carry out the first airstrikes using ATACMS's U.S.-provided long-range missiles in the coming days, three sources told Reuters. The Ukrainian president, former comedian and current puppet Vladimir Zelensky, and some in Washington have long pushed for the U.S. to greenlight the long-range strikes amidst vast concern the move would involve U.S. more directly and escalate the 999-day-old invasion. Yeah, it would escalate the U.S.'s involvement, and yes, it would provoke Putin. It's almost like they're trying to do that. It's almost like there's a military-industrial complex at work, and almost like there's something underneath that, using that as a means to a more devious end. My friends, this is probably the biggest news story of my lifetime, this comeback victory for President Trump. But if you're like me, you realize there's a very strong liberal bias in the media. You probably have concerns of selective reporting around Trump, if not outright lies. And then throughout his presidency, how will he be portrayed by the leftist media? We know we can't trust mainstream media. That's why I'm here on Ground News, and you can check it out at ground.news/ patreon.com/JPReacts, where you can get 50% off unlimited access to Ground News using my link. So check it out now. I want to show you something. New York Times Media Matters strong-arming YouTube to silence conservatives, Ben Shapiro claims. Now check this out. Along with the story summary here, you can sort the articles on this topic based on publications that lean left. You also see who's funding it. And an example of a politically biased left article on this topic from the Daily Beast. YouTube allowed and profited off election denialism. And you can see, yep, definitely leans left. So you'll know, okay, anything coming from a left-leaning publication is going to have that political bias to it. But Ground News also lets you sort articles based on what publications lean right. And you can see these articles have very different titles than the left-leaning one. For example, Ben Shapiro, New York Times Media Matters pressuring YouTube to demonetize and penalize conservatives. So you can read both. You see what the headlines are, the titles of the articles. The beauty is, you get to make up your own mind rather than being deceived because you don't know where your news is coming from. Only Ground News offers that. So if you want to be informed with none of the deception, go to ground.news/JPReacts. And when you use my link for a limited time only, Ground News gives you a full 50% off unlimited access. Check it out now. And Patrick Bet David on his tweet says, Biden is playing with fire. Why do it now knowing you're 64 days away from the inauguration of President Trump? Yeah, my speculation on that question, why do it now when we're just 64 days away from Trump's inauguration? It's because you only have 64 days left to really screw things up and do the bidding of the deep state. So let's pick up where we left off for a little video summary of what's going on as Biden was in the Amazon. And just, he's in the jungle. I don't know if he's doing ayahuasca or what he's doing there, but in the jungle in the Amazon, and just, it hits him. Hey, I need to lift this ban. I'm going to authorize Ukraine to use U.S. long-range missiles on Russia. That'll probably end the war.
Biden administration will allow Kiev use of ATACMS to strike Russia for the first time since the war began. The news emerged from the Biden administration as Joe Biden was in the Amazon rainforest on Sunday announcing a multi-million-dollar plan.
No word yet if Biden knew he was in the rainforest.
Reforest the Amazon. The president took no questions about the bombshell Ukraine announcement during...
Shocker, he took no questions about the announcement. That's unlike him. It's almost like he has everything to hide. There's nothing to say that can give a good, sound, human, ethical, moral-based reason for why he would do this. The only possible reason that I can think of, let me know in the comments if you can think of another reason that people running Biden would authorize this, is because they want nuclear war. They want a world war. They don't think like you and I do. That's the only reason why I can think of. Now let's hear from Putin. Do you think Putin said, oh, geez, Ukraine is now authorized by the U.S. to use these long-range missiles on us? I guess I better back off, guys. I'm a little bit scared here. Let's see if Putin, in fact, indicated that.
In the updated version of the document, aggression against Russia by any non-nuclear state, but with the support of a nuclear state, is proposed to be considered as their joint attack on Russia. Russia will also consider the possibility of using nuclear weapons when receiving reliable information about a massive launch of means of aerospace attack.
Okay, so Putin, translating the translation, saying a non-nuclear state, Ukraine, with the support of a nuclear state, U.S., launching an attack on Russia. We're going to deem that we're being attacked by a nuclear state, and we will consider using nuclear weapons. Funny thing about Putin is he tends to do what he says. He said, we will invade Ukraine if you make NATO bases in Ukraine, if you bring Ukraine into NATO, and they were, all right, let's put a NATO base in Ukraine, see what happens. You got invaded. And this Twitter user posts this with some Russian missile B-roll. What Biden doesn't know is that Russia has long-range missiles too. The only difference is that, unlike those the Ukrainians have, Russian missiles can wipe out entire cities. Yeah, especially if they're nuclear. Now, what I disagree with about this tweet, it says what Biden doesn't know is that Russia has long-range. Yeah, Biden knows that. The people that run Biden, they know that. I don't think they're looking to de-escalate the war by escalating it. Now let's hear from Zelensky and what his script that he's reading off has to say.
The plan to strengthen Ukraine is the victory plan, which I presented to our partners. One of its key points is long-range capabilities for our army. Today, there's a lot of talk in the media about us receiving permission for respective actions. But strikes are not carried out with words. Such things are not announced. Missiles will speak for themselves. They certainly will.
Very intimidating, Zelensky. Now, let's hear what President Trump has to say. This is not an immediate video, but it's a very relevant piece of a video.
We have never been closer to World War III than we are today under Joe Biden. A global conflict between nuclear-armed powers would mean death and destruction on a scale unmatched in human history. It would be nuclear Armageddon. Nothing is more important than avoiding that nightmare. We will avoid it, but we need new leadership.
And we have that new leadership, but can it take office fast enough? It appears as though the DNC, deep state, everyone who's behind Biden is saying, yeah, we want to do our best to not avoid it. We have new leadership that will avoid it. Trump has said on day one, he said within 24 hours, he'll have Putin and Zelensky, he'll meet with them, and he'll have this war ended on day one of his administration. The deep state knows that's Trump's agenda. They know he means it, and I think they know he can absolutely negotiate a peace deal. Thus, 64 or so days before Trump takes office, we have a bit of a green light on nuclear war. And my dear freedom-loving friends, the chicken that we've all been hoping and praying for, Trump administration, that egg has yet to hatch in the Oval Office. So until then, I would dare say our prayers for peace, our prayers for God's way permeating the earth and its people are probably more important than ever. I don't think we want to get lost in the victory of the election because there's still evil forces on our planet attempting to do evil things. That's the latest, and hopefully World War III is not happening anytime soon, or ever would be great. Let me know what you think about this little Biden escalation with Russia and Ukraine nukes. Look forward to hearing your comments in the comment section below. Look forward to seeing you in our next video, but until then, stay peaceful.